Let's talk about some of the types of video editing you can do with the editor inside Screencastify. Because in MCPS we have the unlimited version, we do have access to the video editor. It's pretty rudimentary. It can't do a huge number of things, but it can do some things that are really helpful. First of all, let's talk about how do I get to the editor. So there's a couple of ways to get your videos into the Screencastify editor. First of all, any video that lives in your drive can be opened inside the Screencastify editor. Right now I'm in my Screencastify folder, but if I actually click on any video that lives in my drive, I get the option to open it inside the editor. For example, if I click this, it comes into preview mode, and no, I don't want you to play. Stop playing. Nope. Okay, you're not going to play it. It is playing. So up here above the video, above the preview, I have the option to bring this into or to open it with the Screencastify video editor. So I just wanted you to know that you can always get a video into the editor from your drive. Another place that you can get to the editor is from the video details screen. And this is the screen, remember, that comes up right after you stop your recording. And you can do lots of things from the screen. We talked about that in another video. And you can also get there. It doesn't just come up when you stop recording. You can get to all of your recordings from the actual extension itself if you just click on My Recordings. And so if I clicked any of these, it would bring me into that video details screen. So even without going into the editor from this screen, there's a couple of things you can do to edit your videos. Let's say I took too long to get to what I wanted to say at the beginning of my video, or I took too long to stop my recording and I just don't want my audience to see those things. So what I could do is I could use the scissor icon to simply drag this over to where I want to cut or trim my video, and then I could say Save Trim. Now it gives me a little window that says, hey, if you do this, it can't be undone. So be sure that you want to trim this. So if I'm sure, I click Trim, and then it will actually trim the front part, the part that I've indicated, off of my video. Depending on the size of the trim, it might take just a few minutes, and then it will let you know that your video has been trimmed. So here it comes. It's going to say, success, your video has been trimmed, unless you have really slow internet, in which case, there we go. And so it tells me my video has been trimmed, and it'll start to play it for me again. So hopefully I've trimmed it well, because I can't get that back. So let's say I messed up right in the middle though, right in the middle of my recording. Once I was making a pretty long tutorial and I had this unexpected coughing fit in the middle, and even pressing pause, there was still this part where I started coughing. Well, I don't have to trash my whole video. I can actually go into the editor and I can chop that part out of the middle. So let's talk about how you can do that. So first I would need to open my video in the actual editor. So once you click on Open in Editor, it'll tell you you're signing in, it's firing it up, and depending on the size of your video, it might take just a few moments for you to come into the actual editor. So it will load your recording. It'll ask you if you're ready to make some magic, which sounds pretty dramatic, but there are some cool things that you can do in there. And so my recording is loading, and my internet is slow here at home, so this is taking just a few minutes. And of course someone's texting me. I never get texts or calls unless I'm making a video. Isn't that how it goes? So here it comes, hopefully. There we go. Okay, so now I'm in the actual editor, and let's say, yes, like we talked about, I messed up in the middle of my video. This is a really short video. If it were longer, it would take up this whole bottom part of the screen. So I find the spot in my video where I've messed up and I click there. Then I go to this scissor and it's going to cut. Notice it just made this into two separate pieces now. Then if there's a tiny, wherever the tiny part is that I want to cut out, is it in this clip or this clip? Let's say it's in the second clip and it's this piece right between here and here. So I click the scissors again. So now notice I have three parts, 1, 2, 3. This little teeny part that I want to cut out, if I click on it, then I can simply delete that part, and then it will piece the other two pieces back together, which is a pretty neat thing. Another awesome thing you can do when you click on an actual clip, whoa, I look a little weird there, you can also crop the clip. So if I click this cropping tool at the point that I want to crop, I can then draw into the actual frame and zero in on the part that I want to focus on, then click done. So I can actually cut out part of the frame to focus in with that particular clip. So this is helpful if you've got some things in the background that might be distracting, or if you accidentally captured something you didn't really want your audience to see. And so that's the cropping tool. I can also add text to a clip. So if I click the text icon, I can choose a font from a limited number of fonts. I can make it big, I can choose a color, and then I can write something like, I love Screencastify. And so that's a way, and as far as I can tell, there's not really a way to move this text around, but that is a way that you can add text to your clips. By far the coolest thing you can do, though, is that you can actually combine clips inside the editor. Remember my previous video where I had a piece, first of all, where I was using the webcam only option, and then I had a piece where I was using the desktop option. And I pieced those together inside the editor, and here's how I did that. So I can put my little cursor where I want this to appear, and then I can go to the plus sign to add a clip. I have two options. So I can add a clip from my drive, or if I had something, say, on a flash drive, or if I were using a laptop or desktop, something living on my hard drive. It doesn't even have to be a video that I made inside Screencastify, or even a video that I made. Any video that I have living somewhere in my drive or in my hard drive, I can actually bring into this editor. So I'll go to my Google Drive, and typically it will bring up your list of folders. So you'll need to go and find where the video lives, and these may or may not be in alphabetical order I've found. So if I go to my Screencastify folder, or here's one, here's a random recording. Let's say I want to bring this in. I think this one's really long. Oh dear, that was probably not a good choice. Let's cancel that. All right, let's go again. Sorry, guys. I think that's a super long recording where we were doing a Google Meet. So I'm going back to my drive just because I want to show you how this works, so bear with me. I'm going to look for my Screencastify folder. There it is. Then I'll bring up all of my recordings that I have in Screencastify. And I'm just going to randomly choose this one. And hopefully it's not too long. And it'll bring it in for me. And it's just going to piece it right next to this other video. And I could move some things around if I need to. But this is how you can sort of build your videos and make them more interesting. And once you get comfortable with it, you can do some pretty cool things. Now, once I've combined these, I've really made a brand new video. So it has to be renamed and exported. So once I'm finished doing what I'm going to do in the editor, I would then click export, and I have two choices. I can send this back to my drive, or I can export it as an MP4 onto my device. Either way, I'm going to need to give it a name because it's a brand new video I've created from other videos. And I'm just going to call that Practice 36 and then click download. It's going to process it and then download it to my device, or if I told it to go to Drive, then it'll go there. That's the Screencastify video editor. I hope you'll give it a try.